Hello everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here to share with you days 3 through 5, and this one is going to move quite quickly because I apparently added a lot of stuff in it, and keeping it to, it was like 20 minutes, so I've made it 2.5, so it's a bit of a faster speed, but I don't think it's going to be too bad, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, day 3 is a foundation page I had already chosen. So I did the tag with the 3 and the back side of it which was the actual tag. The other one's a transparency from this year's release that I turned into a tag. And then I had the transparency, and now I was just trying to debate which photos I wanted to use, which papers I wanted to use, and all of that. I decided on this photo of my youngest. I am using an app. I use it every year. I talk about it every year. It is called Photo Lab. And then within that app, I search for painting. And then there's all these different options you can choose. And this is a photo that has a filter on it from that. And it's just really pretty. And I like the way that it kind of jived with everything that was else going on with this page. I'm deciding that the background that I want to use, I printed this in 5x7. That was the best print that it was going to work for. My 6x8, it just was a little out of focus and not what I was wanting. And so I ended up pulling the plaid transparency from this year's release as well, from Ellie Edwards. And this is working perfectly. It's giving me all the right vibes, and I'm really happy with how this is looking. I now have to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, I have these 3 spots because originally I was thinking, I would do something about my 3 kids, or, I didn't really really know what I wanted to do, but I thought I would be putting something or words or something in those little circles. That's not happening anymore. I'm going to put my journaling in this little tab that you see me tucking behind the photo. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to embellish it. And I'll be honest with you, I struggled, and I am looking through pretty much everything that I own that's in my little containers for December daily, because I just didn't know. Nothing was really working in telling the story I wanted to tell. I was planning on using that 'Tis the Season that was going to stay there. Had no plans on covering that up at first. I wasn't sure. I wanted something to go on the photo as well. I just didn't want to leave it blank. It's a stunning photo. I really, really love the photo. But I wanted there to be something on top of it. And so I'm just kind of looking, figuring out what I want. Am I going to go with a bunch of different circle options? Like, what am I going to do? And it just takes me a minute to figure it out. So while you watch me do that, I just want to talk about this photo. So my son, this was taken the morning after we set up the Christmas tree. And he was just looking at it, and super cute. And I just happened to snap this photo. And he's in his Christmas jammies because they were really excited to wear Christmas jammies as soon as the tree was set up. And it was early morning, so it was a really good light. And then with that filter on top of it, it's just perfect. And it actually reminds me a lot of a photo I took of my daughter last year when the tree was up and she's just looking up at it in just complete awe. And I feel like this kind of has the same vibe to it. So I was very excited to get this shot and have it in this album. So that is what the photo is about. You can see I've kind of come up with some ideas now, and this part might move fast because, again, I'm in fast speed. So I added one of the hearts, a felt heart, and that love and joy. All of that is Ellie Edwards products. Most of it is from this year. Some of it is from previous years. I'm adding this Magical Moments from the Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection from this year. And then on that tag, you can see I added one of those little patches that came from this year's release. Topped it with the word Mary, which is just a little wood veneer, again from this year's release. So I'm really using the stuff that I bought, which is awesome because I spent more than I should have. I bought way more than I needed to, but I'm using it. So that's all that matters. And I'm just going to line that all up. And then I'm not sure if this part is going to be on camera or not, but within this Joyful collection, I found something that said, "Oh, what fun." And it's this cute little banner. I'm going to put that one in the green spot, and in the red spot, honestly, I can't remember what I add, but it's really just kind of a fun filler tag. It doesn't actually end up having a reason. I could technically take that out, put my 3 somewhere else on this, and call it done if it was too bulky for me. I'm not going to do that because I really love how that tag turned out, especially with the 3 that I had done with my foundation pages. But it's absolutely an option. So one thing when you're playing is you have to see what works and what doesn't work. And this is a thing with filler pages is, making foundation pages, is you don't know what your story is going to be. So it's quite difficult to make foundation pages, especially if you, and I thought this was quite generic. Like I really thought it was fine. But I still struggled with it. And it's funny how things like that just sometimes happen. It's okay. It's done. I love how it turned out, but sometimes, there's a reason why some people can't do foundation pages. And I would say I might be in that ballpark. I've made them this year. We're seeing how they work out. But next year I may not be quite so gung-ho about foundation pages. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, that one is done. Moving on to day 4, and I will share photos of all of the projects in at the end. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Or you can check out my Instagram. I'm posting it day by day as I get them done and up on there. So you're welcome to check that out too. I will leave the link below for my Instagram if you're interested in that. Okay, day 4. I knew I wanted to use that full 6x8 journaling. It is telling the story about our tree. And I kind of went into the fact about why we couldn't have a real tree because I'm allergic to them, and how I kind of mourn that a little bit because I love the idea of it and going out and getting the tree and getting it on your car and taking it home and all of that. But I'm very allergic, and almost to the point where if I touch them, my hands turn bright red and itchy, and it's just a hot mess. So we don't have a real tree. We have a fake tree. And that's kind of what my journaling is talking about in that 6x8. Then for the photos, I chose 2 of them of my son and daughter putting the ornaments on the tree, and they're kind of both facing the opposite way. So it worked really well having them where they are. This is another one that had a foundation page to it. And then in the little pocket that I have there, I have another photo of Nora and Jackson, and then on the other one is of my youngest putting the tree as well. And that journaling to that one talks about Barrett experiencing putting decorations on the tree for the first year and kind of his experience with decorating, whereas the journaling to the one that backs against my oldest 2 kind of is a more generic on what we did as we were setting it up. So I have 3 different kind of stories being told all about the tree in this one little spread, and I really love how it turns out. So this was a nice one. I'm really, really pleased with how this one turned out. I don't know if it just happened to kind of work together well with what I chose as a kind of background for my journaling on that big one. And I don't know what exactly it is that makes it work, but it just jives together really well. And my journaling fit on the Project Life card that says the tree just perfectly, which made me so happy and so thankful because I don't print from home. I print at my local London Drugs, and so I have to kind of estimate how things are going to go, and it doesn't always work out, and then I have to kind of fix things. But for this one, it works perfectly, and unless you look really close, you cannot tell that it's not actually printed on the original card there. So that was awesome. And I am turning these all into little tags. My original plan was to have them all tags. I even cut those 2 photos that are in the pockets into tags, but I just didn't like the way that they looked. So thankfully I had another set because I will put this in 12x12 format documenting as well. And I just changed that. So the 12x12 layout, when that comes out, will be tags because it's already set into tags. That's just the way it's going to go. So that worked well. I'm going to embellish this quite simply. And again, I don't know where this came from. I had this idea of having this forest of trees, and then the journaling would slide out and you would read it. I had this grandiose plan of doing that, and it just, it didn't work out. So you're going to see me try it, But I'm going to go back to the idea of just that little wood veneer. It says traditions on it. I know you can't see that on camera. It's I just have some bright lights and you just can't read it because it's on white. And then one of the little plastic trees is going to go on top of that. And that's going to be the simplicity of it. And I feel like it works. And it might be one of the reasons why I like this spread so much is because there is a lot of simplicity to it. Even though I've got a lot happening. There's a lot of stories being told. But sometimes we just do what we want to do. And the original idea didn't work out. This is one example where I'm really, really, really glad that I didn't set up this foundation page with all of those trees, because I don't think it would have worked out. And I think I would have struggled a lot trying to make it work with this particular idea. So I'm glad that I left it waiting for the journaling to come in to do that. That was a good one. Okay, we are going to wrap up here with day 5. Now, day 5 is super, super simple. All that this is going to document is my son came home one day, we're all sitting on the couch, and he just asked us what our favorite thing about Christmas was. And I listened to everyone's response and I jotted it down, and that's going to be what this is about. A very, very easy spread. They don't all have to be super complicated. They can just be these cute little stories. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. I want the idea of the question to fit into one of these pockets. So I'm going to work with that. I know I want one of my photos. I don't have it printed yet. That's why you can see the word photo is going to go on another one of them. The answers are going to go on that numbered card. And then I wasn't exactly sure where to go. Again, you can see me kind of playing with all these different ideas. But what I end up doing is having 5 hearts because there's 5 of us. And I added the little house in because I felt like that we were at home and it just kind of fit with that. So this was my original idea. Really, really happy with how it turned out for the most part. I'm going to work on my title. I'm going to put this little 5 down on my green card. And I'm thinking it's going to work well. However, once I get all of this down, I'm going to get my photo, lay that down, and realize it's just not quite right. So I actually end up moving a few of the hearts down to my title or question. I take the heart away and add my number to the other 2 hearts. You'll see this all in a minute. It just goes by really fast, so I want to explain it. And it just gives it a little bit more of a balance. That makes my eye happy, which is important because it's my album. So sometimes, again, even you have these ideas, but unless you have the photo, sometimes it doesn't work. And the photo was actually taken from Thanksgiving once you see it pop in there. So you don't have to use photos taken in December. It's okay. We don't take a ton of family photos of the 5 of us together. So that was just one that worked well. It had all 5 of us in it, and I was going to go with it. I also want to mention when it comes to page protectors, when I'm working with them, I really do like the idea of having a few of them inside the page and then a few things outside of the page protector. So you can see me kind of working on that there. I end up using the number, and then the black alphas are going to stay on the card. Then anything that's in gold, so the word part and Christmas, are going to be on the outside of the page protector. And I will switch the idea of using, right now I'm using the word things, but I will switch it to the word part because it just wasn't fitting correctly. It wasn't working, and I was struggling and it was making me mad. So I changed it to part instead, and that worked perfectly. I'm going to jot down the answers to all of this. Sean was, his response was Christmas morning. Mine is twinkle lights. Jackson's was really sweet, and being with his family was his favorite part. Nora's answer was very Nora. Very much a 4-year-old answer about the fact that she loves presents. And my youngest doesn't really understand, but his response was Christmas tree, and it was adorable. So I put that in there too. And I just really love this. I think this is a thing I'm going to add every year. Now, it might not be the same question every year, but I am going to add a family question into my December Daily every year now, because I feel like this is a really, like I said, it highlights where we are in life. So it was neat. I'm glad my son just randomly asked it one day, because it was the perfect way to document something that just pertains to us, and it's just with my little family. So love it. Okay, I think this is now where I'm going to switch things out so you can see it and see the photo and kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about, because you can see I'm stumped here. I'm like, I don't know. I like the idea of it, but it just wasn't flowing together. And this is another thing where on the opposite place where I didn't have much in this one. I just knew kind of the idea of what I wanted, but just things were not working for me. So like I said, I'm going to just pop those hearts over there. I took the original 5 off and put it back in my little container of numbers. I'm going to put that house back in my container of wood veneer, add a 5 on top of it, covers up the little mess that I have. Take away that original Project Life card, switch it with a tag and a couple little pieces with the family photo, and that is going to do it for my day 5. So here's a look at some close-ups of days 3 through 5. Thank you so much for watching and sticking through this one with me. I know it was a bit of a longer video, and I will be back soon with some more December daily and some more layouts. I've just kind of gotten in a little funk with my layouts in normal 12 by 12 format, but I will get back into those hopefully soon for you as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye, everyone.